Season 1, sponsored by Oxys Project. Hello, namaste, and a very warm welcome to another episode of DD Startup Junction Season 1. A lot of entrepreneurs trying to find venture capitalists. This is a platform which brings both of them together, and let's see how much business can happen here. 75 startups over 5 weeks and 3 winners will be funded. Let's welcome our jury panel. With us is Mr. Gururaj, founder and CEO of Oxys Projects. With us is also Dr. Shrikant Parsarthi, Group CFO at Chakra Venture Partners. Dr. Shivaram Krishna, Co-Chair, Medicate Ethos Private Limited. Also Professor S.V. Subramania, former Vice President and Research Fellow from Infosys. Well, with that, I am excited to start another episode. I am so curious to see. Without further ado, we'll call upon our first startup to present, DoVizzle. Team DoVizzle, over to you.
This is Radhika. Her son Vijay is leaving for the USA. Just when Vijay arrived at the airport, he realized that he had forgotten one important package of his. Back home, Radhika too realized the same and was worried because there's not too much time left for Vijay to come back, take his package, and go back to the airport. Luckily, she came to remember about Whistle app. She immediately looked up for people going to the airport from in and around her house and immediately found Varun, a whistler, about to leave for the airport in the next few minutes. She called him up, got connected, and soon Varun was on his way to the airport with Vijay's package. Meanwhile, at the airport, Vijay was worried. And then, surprise! Varun was there, handing over the missing package to Vijay and wishing him happy journey. Vijay was amazed. He called up his mom, and Radhika told him that she had seen his brother use Whistle to sell his old phone. She even once saw their neighbor using Whistle to find a plumber. That's why when she was out of options, she used Whistle and got the job done. Vijay was happy. He thanked Varun and they exchanged numbers. Vijay knew he had found a new friend and an awesome new app. Whistle, where have meets haven't, real time. Instead of spending time finding, do Whistle. Have your own more personal time. While Whistle finds you the matches to get the job done.
I'm already so curious about the name. What does DoVizzle mean? It's like, the cricket jingle which they say, raise your hands and whistle podu. Is that something to do with that?
Closer to that.
Closer to that? Fantastic. All the best for the pitch.
Thank you. My name is Raja Apache, founder CEO. I have Mihir Agolkar, is a co-founder, COO of DoVizzle. So let me get into the actual concept what we are after. So basically, let's assume a world. You are living in a world where a moving bus driver whistles or announces, I have 5 seats to be empty. I'm going to Goa from Bangalore. And there is another ATM machine says that I have 2,000 denomination to dispense now. And on a lean hour, any business can say that, hey, if you come now, I can offer you. A hotel people sees an early checkout room. Before he comes, another person comes in to check in. I see plenty of hours where I can give a short stay to the business travelers. Or even nearby Dobiwala announces that I have started working. So these are all, say, assume this world. If you live in this world, the search will become much less iterations so that you can find your problem solvers much quicker. So this is why we call Whistle. So everyone who says, I have this one and I need this one, a Whistle. So basically we build a platform to give capacity or transform everyone from the complete pyramid of pyramid people can whistle what they have and what they need. Our platform constantly monitors alerts when there is a nearby a provider and consumer nearing actually. This is called the DoVizzle. We build the platform, what do next? We have to test it. So we happen to shake down our idea into multiple places to see where it resonates or where it does not. Very proud to announce Honorable Prime Minister happened to endorse a Tamil Nadu initiatives to find uncovered borewells to convert them as a water saving units. That idea was given by us, executed by, developed on top of DoVizzle platform. So he wanted to take this idea to the pan India. We are trying to reach him basically. The second one, we have 30,000 blood donors on our platform, helping each other right now. And the Mumbai government endorsed us, okay, because Ola, Uber, killing our Kali Pili drivers. So Whistle can be a platform for that. So in 2017, they endorsed, but due to a lot of politics and associations-driven businesses, we are waiting for Ola, Uber to settle down so that Whistle cabs can be given to all the drivers so that they can demonstrate. They have a pre-platform. Okay, fine. We had a lot of tries. So B2B, B2C. We happen to check with natural kind of businesses, salons. Okay. Encashing or monetizing better when during your lean hours versus offering the coupons during the busy hours. So this queue can be managed by using Whistle. It was well versed. So now we are also thinking to give a solution exclusively for the service industry when they are lean, Whistle. When you are busy, do it for full price. This is what we need. Groupon is dying. So we have to prove it. So that is another segment we are working on right now. And after that, we said, okay, let's make some money immediately. So we ended up bumping into another solution where the truckers, the carriers basically, and shippers wanted to match on the go. So we have spin up a product called whistlefreights.com. I will let my co-founder talk about that. So you will brief the business matrices, what the initiatives, the numbers for the VCs.
So very quickly to give you an idea about Whistle Freights. Whistle Freights, it's a dynamic platform where transporters and shippers are connected. So it becomes a transporter-friendly platform where any number of fleet, any given location in India is 100% optimized, generating revenue and business for the transporters. It also becomes a shipper-friendly platform because he gets to book the nearest available truck for whatever their freights. Also, they get a credit, which we have talked with the banks. So banks will be giving an exclusive credit cards to the shippers, which will be exclusively utilized on Whistle Freight's platform. So they don't have to worry about the advance payment because without advance, the transporter cannot take the fleet. Also, they get a freedom to negotiate with the fellow transporters and come at the actual rates. And it also becomes a driver-friendly platform where not only at a single press of SOS button, the carrier and shipper knows it's an emergency, but also in that proximity, all the nearby drivers gets to know that this person, fellow driver, is in the need. By the end of the year, we also got support from 3 biggest pan-India transport associations. And by end of the year, we'll be having 25,000 approximately trucks on board. Transaction value of $500 million US. And we'll be making, initially, we'll be making 1%. We are charging. We have a capacity to expand it to 5% as well.
Absolutely fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really, really nice. And I'm really curious to listen to what the judges have to say. So let's start with Professor S.V.
New thinking. I'll tell you, there's a big opportunity across different verticals. What do you see the biggest risk in this model?
We are classifying them as a business to business is a separate one, C2C is a separate one.
Oh.
Separate one. So that's a vertical.
Yes.
So what are the other segments that you are planning to penetrate?
So there are a lot of innovation that we can do. Basically, needs and have need to be connected spontaneously. So we have an AI algorithm written so that the e-commerce can be done differently. So for an example, so e-commerce is www.amazon.com.
Yes.
Okay, there are a lot of events happening across the world. So my AI algorithm will go through where the events are happening, find the genre of people who they come to that place. Then we can help my vendors to put a virtual store for that period only.
Yeah.
So those are all in pipelines. And Whistle cabs, there are a lot of things, but we are limiting right now because we. Thank you.
I see a spark in Mr. Shrikant's eyes, Dr. Shrikant's eyes.
My suggestion to you is, while the concept is great, it could be applied in multiple other segments, apart from the segments that you're addressing right now, where you may face a lot of resistance. So my suggestion is for you to look at the whole segment. I mean, you've captured it at the 50,000 feet level. My suggestion to you is to look at every segment possible where there could be a penetration. For example, I'll give you one more example of a segment where you could penetrate. Forex, cash, right? People hold excess cash, Forex cash, when they get returned from a foreign land. How do they sell it? At the moment, they sell it to a local vendor. So Whistle could be a means for somebody to possibly say that, look,
There
I'll
you go.
offer you at a lower rate.
There you go.
I don't go down the natural route of cabs and taxis and tucks and logistics and don't get into that particular quagmire. I would want you to think out of the box and go into multiple streams, untapped streams like the way I mentioned.
Super, sir. Super. Taken.
Mr. Gururaj.
So coming back, see, great, as he rightly pointed out, there are both ways. How I look at it is on the right side, it is an absolutely scalable model, right?
Thank you.
That is the first thing. What you can see, there is a opportunity as too many things what you can do with this model, right? Yes. Having said that, on the flip side, what you said, don't lose your focus.
Right.
Right? Because it's so much diversified activities what you can do here, right? It may happen that, as you rightly put it out, the segment what you choose really makes you or breaks you in this, right? That is a very important thing, again I say you, but the potential is very huge, what you can do it. But again, so I come from an education background, other things, whatever he said, from that fraternity, you can visual lot of things for colleges.
We have planned for that.
Right? Absolutely, wish you all the best. Wonderful concept.
Thank you.
You've had amazing response from the jury. Do you want to whistle now? Do you know how to whistle? Apart from the app whistle.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm just kidding. So let's go into the scores. So that's a 9, a 9 again, 9 and a 9. That's 9 into 4. Fantastic score. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you
Let's
so
all
much.
whistle. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
They always say, you know, when a businessman closes a deal, there is no more happiness than that day when he closes a good deal. So I'm sure the teams here who have come to pitch are definitely having a good day. I'll come back to you with the next startup. For now, take a break. A girl, as an adorable daughter, caring sister, grows up to be a responsible wife, hardworking professional. She is ambitious. She wants to do a lot of things. In most of the developing countries, one issue that we all face is safety of women. Well, safety in general is an issue, but specifically when it comes to gender-based violence, we see it is important to take care of a woman's safety. Our next startup, 2T Technologies, is going to address these issues. Please put your hands together to welcome a representative from 2T Technologies.
In 2018, 850 kids were raped or molested in New Delhi. 510 of these cases happened either on campus or involved school staffers. 53.2% of children are sexually abused, making India home to one of the largest populations of sexually abused children. Sexual abuse is disastrous for the child, parents, and the school. But with IoT-based solution, life of a child can be saved. Introducing IT, an IoT-based solution to prevent child abuse at schools, where the incidence of sexual abuse triggers an alarm. How does it work? IDs of students and staff are embedded with IoT sensors. Wearing an ID is mandatory for everyone. The school has zones where male students and staff are not permitted. The remote vulnerable corners are identified and tagged. Receivers are placed at the strategic locations which sense and record the presence of students and staff every minute. If a male staff enters a girl's washroom, an instant alarm is triggered, identifying the person and telling the control desk in charge to take immediate preventive action. The alarm is triggered on the mobile phones of higher authorities even when they are away from the campus. Case 2. Not wearing the tag will send out an alarm too. No scope to play around with the system. Case 3. Suppose an employee and a girl child are noticed at a remote corner. System tracks the time they are together, and if beyond the permitted limit, it will trigger an alarm. Today, a lot of children face sexual abuse or inappropriate behavior in many schools. But tomorrow can be better. We know you care, so be the first to prevent child abuse. Let's ensure a positive experience, healthy relationship, and nurturing environment to every child and eliminate sexual abuse.
So what is your role in the startup, and what would you like to say? And
so I've been seeing a lot of sexual abuse of girl children in schools. People are only talking about this. Nobody has ever thought of how to prevent this. Concentration has been more on why is this happening, but nobody is thinking of how to prevent this and how to control this. That's where we started thinking on this. How do we prevent this sexual abuse of girl children, especially at schools? Girl is at a very early age. She is not even aware of what's happening to her, and we are very vulnerable for abuse. Sexual abuse in schools cannot happen in the central quadrangle. It can happen only in a remote corner of the school. Most of the time what happens is schools insist that we have CCTV coverage. CCTV is going to prevent something. The secure feeling is just because the CCTV is there, these incidents will not happen. This is a very wrong assumption. CCTV can only record the incident. It doesn't trigger an alarm. It won't help you in preventing the incident from happening. This serves the purpose of doing a post-mortem after the incident, and it's really not serving. You are still putting the life of the child at a risk. So this is where we pitch in. Our solutions trigger an alarm before the incident happens and help you to prevent the incident from happening. A sexual abuse will not happen in the central quadrangle. It can happen only in a remote corner, which is not in line of sight of the role bearers of or the management of the organization. What we do is we embed IoT sensors in the ID card of the child, so there is no additional devices to carry. It's a regular ID card which has IoT sensors enabled, which helps us to track the movement of the girl child. While we track the movement, if the solution notices a lone girl child with a male staff member or an adolescent boy, it starts measuring the amount of time they spend in that nook of the school. First of all, there is no reason for a lone girl child to be present there, and the fact that she is with male staff or an adolescent boy raises the suspicion, and they are spending more than 3 or 5 minutes, a threshold limit. That itself is another doubtful thing. The moment the solution finds that these two people are in a remote corner of the school spending 3 to 5 minutes, senses something is wrong and triggers an alarm. Somebody can go and see what's happening. Now the main thing comes here is just like CCTV, what happens if somebody removes the ID card? We have a solution for that also. We can sense that the child has removed its ID card or the staff member has removed his ID card. This is not a serious offense, but it's break of compliance. We also trigger an alarm for that and ensure that everybody complies with this. The other major factor to be considered here is what happens if somebody disables the gateways which receive the signal and push it to the server. We can also sense and trigger an alarm saying such and such a gateway has been disabled. So somebody can go and see what's happening there. Coming to the market size, the potential for this, we cannot tag a value for the life of a girl child, the agony of the parents, the agony that the parents go through, and the brand image of the child, the brand image of the school. These are the 3 parameters which come into play here. This is what we are addressing now. Coming to the market size, government itself has around 11 lakh schools across India, and there are some 3 lakh odd schools in the private sector. We are first targeting the private sector schools. We have assumed that we'll be able to cover at least 10% of them to go in for this, and we have priced our solution at a very affordable level of just 125 rupees per month per student. This is a very affordable thing which comes to around 1,500, 1,800 rupees per annum, 125 rupees per month per student. First, we plan to go across India, then probably move across to the international. The African continent is another good market for us. And for addressing the Indian market, we don't want to go into the market directly ourselves. We would like to use the distribution of the network channel. We have identified people who already work with schools, the CCTV vendor, the IT vendor, the school uniform suppliers. We want to offer this as a dealership model for them. So my dealer network will be able to tap much easier. And we also plan to use the social media and educate the mothers to ask the school before the admission whether they have a solution to ensure their child is safe in the school. A simultaneous approach from both the sides, we are confident that we'll be able to capture the market very easily. And in my estimate of tapping 10% of the private schools in India, I'll be touching a revenue of around 60 crores per annum. This is only for the Indian market. Once we are successful here, we plan to go to the African countries.
Fantastic. I mean, that's definitely a phenomenal idea in terms of taking care of the girl child. Let's see what the judges have to say if they have any questions. Doctor?
Any competitors?
A couple of people have tried to do it with RFID. Yes. The technology with RFID, what happens, it cannot penetrate a human body. Suppose 2 of us are walking, it identifies only one of us. It can't detect the other person because the technology of RFID itself is lacking there. There have been, this is one of the failures there. And the other thing is it's pretty expensive. The RFID card is cheap, but the long range ID card reader, the RFID signal reader, which is a long range tool, this is pretty expensive. So when you compare the overall cost, they are at least 3 times more expensive than me.
Professor, SVS.
A very, very novel idea. I mean, in fact, IoT based is a good thing. And here, in terms of 60 crores projections and all you have given, actually, what is the real true market? How much does it time it takes to market and establish at least in 20-30 schools?
20-30 schools probably we can cover up in the next coming academic season. Now, if I start my marketing for this year, in the coming November, December, they'll be including this into their fee structure. So they'll be getting their revenues from next academic year will be going live.
Dr. Shrikant.
So wouldn't it be easier for CCTV cameras? I know you did place a concern that CCTV cameras cannot be placed everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah.
But CCTV cameras with face identification mechanisms or recognition methodologies, which will be based on AI, to be implemented rather than having one more plug-in like 2T?
CCTV, what happens is I cannot place it in the ladies' room, in the ladies' washroom. We literally, even in the gents' washroom, I cannot have a CCTV. So what happens if the sexual abuse happens there? And the technology is still not, it's in a nascent stage, it's still evolving, and it cannot differentiate the sex as of now. It can differentiate a human being, it can make out the two of us are there, but it cannot tell it's a girl and a boy as of now.
Interesting.
Mr. Gururaj?
No, I come from the same fraternity. As I said, I quite work with the schools and colleges. So since I've been, my last venture was also into schools.
Oh, nice.
So we were the first SaaS model based product when we launched in 2008.
Okay.
So I can connect to the same product. But what I liked is one is clarity, right?
Yeah.
The second thing is it's a very simple concept. There is no high funda in this, right? The more is simple technology. The only thing is the way you are trying to tell to the market is different. But having said that, I have few, one or two things to ask you. One is when you said that you are trying to replicate RFID, I understand the technology where you cannot be able to go with identify the two the people, that I understand. But one problem I have with this model is, see the moment you say that CCTV, I understand you cannot go to the ladies washroom, you cannot go to the, there are restricted areas where you can cover it. But having said that, there are technology blockways itself, hope you understand what I am coming from, which data enablers, which can block, if somebody has technology oriented, he can easily block your IoT model. Do you agree on this?
That's the extreme end.
No, I'm saying I'm trying to create devil's advocate.
Logically speaking, yes, it is extremely possible. Right. Like I can block BLE, I can block Wi-Fi, but that's at the extreme end.
How do you counter that? That's not my question, because for me it looks very simple.
Yeah.
For a school to adopt, it's an excellent product, right? Yeah. For them also, it is a branding opportunity where they can showcase that they have already taken a preventive method for the child abuse.
Yeah.
But I am looking from the extreme levels because these things happen at only extreme levels,
right?
Not at the normal levels.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. With that, if you have a counter mechanism for these extreme levels, yes, this product is on.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
There are two ways we can address this. One is if you see the past history of sexual abuse which is happening, a high-tech guy never went and abused a child. It's only the staff, the junior staff, let us not name them, the people within the school or in the surrounding places who did this. Okay, that is one aspect of it. Now, our solution detects the failure of Wi-Fi as well as BLE or all these devices and triggers an alarm also. During the presentation, I did mention that if any of the gateways or the access points are switched off, it triggers an alarm there also. So when you are jamming the Wi-Fi signals, all my access points are going off, no signals are coming into the server is going to trigger an alarm.
Okay, good.
Fantastic. I mean, that was a very nice, very thoughtful discussion. Thank you so much. Let's go to the scores. Professor SVS, that's a 7.5. Doctor gives an 8. Dr. Shrikant is 8.5. And Mr. Gururaj is 8. Definitely good score. All the best, sir. Hope you get funding and hope every girl who goes to school, at least in India, is safe and also in other countries. Thank you so much. Yes? My God, sometimes some stories definitely touch your heart. The place where they come from, the thought process where they come from, what instigates them to think of an idea, the problem that they are trying to solve. It is definitely emotional. It touches the human chord. Heard the comments from jury. We've also seen the marks that they give, which makes only 40% of the total score. The rest 30% comes from the participants who will fill in Google forms and also vote for their peers. They will score the peers according to what they felt. The other 30%, to make it 100%, comes from all of you audience sitting and watching from your homes. Do send us a WhatsApp message on 94494 76539. That's the number. Send us your messages on which startup you liked, what is the score. Please rate all the startups, and taking all of this into consideration, at the end of 5 weeks, we will announce who the big winner is. On that note, with that, we've come to the end of today's episode. There are more stories, there are more startups. We have 75 startups in all for season 1. This is DD Startup Junction, season 1, brought to you by Oxys Projects. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.